We're going to start out with my opinion, because you all get my opinion.
That's why we have podcasts.
Right.
This is a platform for our opinions, because they're correct.
Yes. It's a vendor besties. What would you do without us?
That's right. In my experience so far, Stout Shoot usually has just a couple photographers. Everybody is kind of doing everything on trade. Content days are more designing and setting a set and then selling tickets to that to photographers.
Like that definition, chef's kiss, right? It's like such a clear distinction between the two. But I think in this industry, we don't actually see everybody agreeing on the definition of those terms or running their shows with that kind of transparency.
Oh, no, there's not that black and white. There's a lot of gray and
mucky brown.
Mucky.
And there's a lot of vendors, planners, and photographers alike, I would say both, who equally take advantage.
With any business transaction, it comes down to what you're purchasing. So if a photographer is being directed in any way, I mean, you're purchasing that photographer for their services. Right. Whereas if it's a collaborative effort, there are other factors that go into the transaction. Clear communication and expectations is the name of the game there.
I mean, we're always going to harp on good communication, getting things in writing. If somebody reaches out to you to participate in something, getting that clear communication on what the expectation is financially and what they're expecting of you for a product or service, like, cover everything. Ask all the questions. I don't remember who taught me this, but I think it actually was my mom. If you're afraid to talk about money, you'll never have any. And it's absolutely true. And it's rough. Like going into one of your first jobs and being afraid to ask for what you think you're worth, terrifying. But also, if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. Mm-hmm. Period.
I was raised in a household we did not talk about money.
Well, and if you work in any kind of environment that's managed by corporate, whether you're like in an office or not, like even in retail managed by big corporate companies, you are told you do not talk about your salary.
Yeah, so when you're going to the world of freelance and you're, running your own business, it's a huge jump to sit there and say, hey, what's the dotted line here? What are we talking about? And sticking up for yourself in those situations. And oftentimes when you're getting started as a photographer, and I'm, still navigating this myself every day, getting into each situation, you think that if you push back and you challenge certain situations, you might lose opportunities. And yeah, you're going to lose opportunities, but those aren't the right opportunities that are going to push you forward and benefit you.
Well, I mean, yesterday, as the example, we have this shoot that we're planning, and it's super intense. It's a really out-of-the-box concept. We thought we nailed down a venue with some assistant on the team there and sign a contract for the venue yesterday and then get an email from the owner last night that says, your vision does not align, we're going to decline. And that was it. And there was no, oh, I'm so sorry to disappoint you last minute. There was no, this is a fun idea. It just doesn't work with our branding. It was just, what would have been the harm in going through with it? Yeah. If it doesn't work with your branding and marketing, you have no obligation to use those photos later for your branding and marketing. What would they have lost by providing this? Well, what they're losing by not providing it is having 5 planners working in their venue, 2 bakers, 2 videographers, 2 florists, 8 to 10 photographers, a DJ, a transportation company. You're losing multiple wedding teams by not welcoming all of these people into your space. And unless you're really concerned for the safety of your building, you have nothing to lose by saying yes. And this may sound like it's going directly against our other episode where we're like, be super discerning about what you get into. And yes, this person is probably doing that. But also, what's the harm in saying yes and getting cool pictures and then maybe afterwards being like, oh, those are pretty dope.
It's one of those things that, yes, while you want to be discerning and, vet what you're doing, yes. There's scams and, there's a lot of, junky things out there. There's also room for growth, for collaboration. There is
diversity for
right.
The way that the decline was written also really made it sounded like they were offended by some aspects of the concept.
Yeah. The big takeaway is because of the crappy, the abruptness and the rudeness of the communication, they lost access to
a huge network.
Right.
So it's understanding that even if you don't see the value in something, And even if you were like, oh, I'm using that discernment that we've been talking about being so important,
Right.
you don't have to burn the bridge
Right.
Right.
by like being a jerk about it. And if you
Right.
are burning that bridge, if your communication sucks, like, okay, if they just delivered that in a different way,
Exactly.
then, you know, we still wouldn't get what we wanted, but then they wouldn't have like lost the opportunity to work with us in the future.
Correct.
Right.
What are some ways that you could reject an idea that you're just not
Renegotiate.
seeing, or ask for clarification on an idea that you're just not seeing?
Or you can say, hi, I'm so sorry that I'm coming into this last minute. Like, have some personality about it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my biggest off-putting things was
Right.
there was zero personable aspect of it. And it was just right, exactly. I don't care how you're going to receive it. And that's huge. And we should always care how the person is going to receive it.
And I kind of want to tie this back in to this question that we have about the money that goes into these shoots
Yeah.
and where it's going, right?
Yeah.
So in this instance, while you're shopping around looking for venues, I mean, this is your shoot. You're probably going to wind up funding a bunch of it. I think there's this perception that people have that, oh, everybody's donating their time, so it's like a free shoot. But everybody's paying for stuff,
Yes.
right? And everybody has like different expectations. So what does that look like from your end when you're actually planning and, you know, it's your brainchild?
Right. Well, I think initially, so when Joelle and I talked about it, I think we were coming at it from my definition of a styled shoot. And then I was like, I want to include some things that I don't own. And so we got to find funding for that because I don't have deep pockets. So then we could change and shift it into a content day. And then I was like, well, if we're going to do that, I would really like to incorporate my whole mentality of education and mentorship into that and have it be a workshop. So right now I'm calling it a styled content workshop. And as soon as we get all the players nailed down and exactly what's happening, I'm going to fine tune that proposal and then see if photographers want to pay to play on that set. And I think they will as soon as we get that venue locked in and we can get some good pictures of it and everything. But right now, the things that I want to incorporate, I don't own them, and a lot of people don't own them because they are out of the box for what is happening in weddings still and traditionally. So there's going to be a lot of bright colors. It's going to be very citrus-based, much more citrus, actual fruit heavy as opposed to flowers. There will be flowers, but the florists are going to be working largely with fruit and minorly with flowers. We have a scene that we want to have like velour tracksuits, like playing on the Juicy Couture kind of thing. And so trying to track down some of those for less than $40 a piece off Amazon. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be doing some thrift shopping for sure. I don't want a white dress as part of the ceremony shot. And so I can't just borrow a dress from somebody that has a white dress because that's not the visual that I'm going for. So it's pulling in the aspects of things that are in this vision that make it a cohesive vision that are attracting people that want to do different and interesting things to the concept, but I don't have that stuff in my inventory yet. And right before tax time is not the best time to try and buy all of it.
So you said you were going to maybe have, like, pitch it in a way that got photographers to want to buy in. And so this is a question that I have personally, and I have seen this asked all over the internet, and I'm hoping y'all have some, like, good answers because this is a hard one to narrow down. Most of the time, you're getting other vendors to donate their skills, their services, their perishables, right? Florists, bakers, whatever. Sometimes they get reimbursed, but a lot of us are just putting the money in to create the thing to show up. And then the photographers are taking all the pictures, and all those vendors, their payment is those photos, right? Like that's what is convincing everybody to show up and to put in the work and to put in the money because they're getting paid in professional photography.
Right.
So why is it that we have the photographers who are doing all the work to create the content that is paying everyone also buy in? Why is it valuable?
It's also
She looks right at Tony.
Why is it valuable? I am so curious because I have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
But it's also a lot of content days versus actual styled shoots. A lot of those will get published.
No matter how you figure it, right? No matter how you figure it, whether it's a style shoot, content, creation, yada yada, a photographer in that setting is on set with actors, with props, and with everything available to them, that has value. And yes, the photographer's result is payment for a lot of people, but it has value to be on those sets. And if I wanted to, initiate that, I would have to pay for those sets. So for
all
instance,
that inventory, right?
All the inventory, all the actors and everything, that has value. So if you're a smart photographer and you're or videographer and you're on those sets, you're on those style shoots, content day, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna take full advantage as if it was a set for you, so you can get those publications, so you can get that content to post on your Instagram, your portfolio. So then people will see that, and you can get those shoots at a paying gig. And it is just an exchange, right? So with the Persephone shoot, I remember walking onto that set and immediately feeling like with your cake and your set design and those actors, I was like, can I make this a movie? Can I turn this into like a short film? And it ended up, working out that way, and I was so stoked. But it was like,
Well, and what would the value have been to you dollar-wise if it had presented to you as, yes, this is a set, and you can come and you can do a short film here, if your pockets were deep or unlimited, right? Like, would you have paid for that if they said, here's the pay, like, was it payment worthy? And I would think absolutely.
Yeah. If it wasn't like a mutually beneficial situation, I mean, those are thousands of dollars, sometimes tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars for a set like that. Because if I want that set, if I had been the one to envision that and I put everything together, it could have been tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars to put all that together.
Well, it's interesting you say that. One of my clients this year, actually, I could immediately tell that my bride was overwhelmed. And I go, what can I do to solve your problem?
Yeah.
She just starts breaking down. I go, I know I'm out of your price range. That's fine. But tell me what you can afford.
Asking in that term, what's your budget? We have to figure out what the conversation is to identify the parameters without limiting ourselves of what we can bring in and without limiting ourselves of what we can offer. So if we have a full understanding of everything that we can offer and get better and better at articulating the value of all of those things, our negotiation is going to get better and better, and our ability to bring in higher paying gigs is going to get better. Where we were supposed to go with all of this was...
Yeah, we're the ADHD is strong today.
It's really good. So maybe we stay in this, and I don't know. But
well, the thing is, this information, like this concept of being very aware of your own value and leading with that and saying, this is what it takes to access me, that is applicable with clients. And you also need to apply that into networking with other vendors. Here's where my value is. Right. Here's what it takes to access me. If you want my participation, here's the baseline. And that gets easier to do the longer you're in business, the stronger your connections are, the better you are.
The more you work together on projects, establishing my brand and figuring out what my style is and the things that I specialize in as far as rentals go and as far as in planning and design.
Well, it's like, are you giving me value at this point, or is my presence bringing more value to your shoot, right? Like, there's a value judgment there. Absolutely. And when you get to the point as the vendor where, no, having me attached to the shoot is actually going to bring you a lot more, it gets a lot easier to make that ask. It's not even an ask, though. It's like a, here's the baseline.
Yeah, here's my boundary.
But you have to start by being willing to even ask and practice having those conversations. If you're a newer vendor and you're not anywhere near being able to do that and you're still participating for free or buying in or donating your time, that's fine. Still have those conversations. Yes. Still get practice communicating in that way.
But even when you get to that level or get to that point of don't ever let your ego stop you from saying no. Don't think you're good enough to say no.
Don't think you're too good.
Or too good to say no, excuse me.
Too good to say yes?
No, I get what she means.
I'm confused.
So yeah, you don't need it. Make sure that the things that you're going to really invest your time and your dollars and your efforts into absolutely align, but also do the other ones too when you can. If you're not starting and those projects are taking the place of a paying gig, absolutely be discerning. Say no to this when you're going to make money over here. But if the concept is awful, but you've been dying to work with that photographer and that baker and that videographer, do it anyway. Make those network connections. Do your very best, and maybe the whole thing will be elevated, which was part of the conversation we wanted to get to, is the elevation of working with the people in your network, how it elevates. Richard?
It's also part of mentoring.
Yes, exactly.
The flip side of it, it's newer people, but the idea is stellar.
Yes.
The value judgment for like what is a really big investment versus like the return on that investment is going to look totally different for those two businesses.
Well, right. So which kind of vendor you are? Are you a consumable vendor? Or are you a knowledge and experience vendor? Or are you an existing inventory vendor?
Yeah,
So,
and that
like,
makes
with
a
our
big
rentals,
difference.
I already own the stuff.
Yeah.
So what is the value loss of me participating in something with my rentals for free based on the dollar amount of my time alone? If I were having a 2-hour planning session with somebody or a 2-hour design session with somebody, what money would I be losing if I do that? So that's the first measurement. And then the second measurement is, yeah, but is it likely that I'm going to book those things during that same time frame?
Should I plan a style shoot?
I think you should. I think you should come up with a concept and think through as much of the planning as you can. Bring that to the table.
I can think of like a one-dimensional plane, but there are so many depths to planning stuff.
Yeah.
Like you will face the fork in the right way, and that would be something that I would never even consider. Like it's got to be this.
I'm gonna forget the forks. They're gonna be
I'm gonna
left
forget
on
the
my counter,
right.
next to the memory
Forks are
card
not
for my
even
camera.
I'm gonna be a
Not even
proverbial
really
AI hand, and you're gonna think of everything. You're gonna be the
No, but
proverbial
it's
AI
true,
hand.
right? I have always preferred working on these collaborative projects when it is a planner or a coordinator who is
Right.
actually putting it together, especially when there's a budget, especially if I'm having to invest a ton of money and time into it. And I know that there's money changing hands, and the more people, the bigger the production. I
Right.
just feel like I want the person who's used to running a big production and managing vendors
Right.
to be in that role.
There are many photographers I love, I recommend, I refer, I jump to work with them. And I don't want those photographers planning stuff.
I think I
feel like
would
that's
love
a hot take. Like we might have some
Absolutely.
cranky photographers in the
okay.
comment,
But
but
the thing is,
they can come at me too.
photographers
I
that
have relationships with know that I love them, and they will agree.
Yeah.
Especially if they've worked with me, they'll be like, yes.
Yeah, please.
And it is not an ego thing. It's, you bring us your concept, Tony, and we're going to be like, great. Where are we plugging in the cords? Where are we putting the cameras? What's behind those cameras? Is anything in the visual field doesn't work for us and we need to change it, or do we change the thing?
Right.
Like Valen.
And,
Plus
and
design.
But
also,
you also have the creative mind.
Right. Yeah.
So
well,
that's why I work with you. I'm gonna come to your shoot over somebody who I don't see their creative eye, and I'm gonna put my time into your shoot.
Is about to explode.
I just had a really good idea. Guys, no, okay. I'm changing the subject.
Great.
So we're gonna do a photo shoot with the four of us, and it's gonna be our emo band cover photo shoot.
Yep.
And I can see it in my head because we're halfway through the season and we need more promo photos. But
Yes.
they're gonna
I want to help.
yeah. Yeah.
On the team.
We're all gonna do it together.
I know, but I want it.
I want to help. I want to do it.
Yeah, but it'll be like the.
But we're gonna do like really, really good band photos.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were just
Emily,
talking about
you're in
how we'll
charge.
have these ideas and then we need you to
I
execute.
know.
Right, but you don't have the pilot fold the napkins.
We're gonna
for the
we're
dinner
gonna send
tray.
some album
That's
covers
what
back
I
and forth on Instagram.
You got it. You got it. Tony got it. You don't ask
I got
the
my
pilot-
metaphor from the beginning.
You don't ask the pilot of the plane to fold the napkins that are going out in first class.
So much energy happening right here.
We only have 2 microphones.
I'm so sorry that I derailed the conversation. What the heck were we talking about? Do we need to go back to it, or do we need to just
I
end this
figured
episode?
out my metaphor.
Guys, I think we've been talking for like
A long time.
a long time. So
this is the episode where the two of you are arguing about paying and not paying.
oh, I mean, I feel like we answered that
Okay.
question.
We
It didn't
argued.
turn into an argument, but I feel like I posed the question.
Okay. To the
wisdom.
I think
agree.
I think they want my metaphor.
Oh, hold on. Get centered.
Tones wisdom.
Tones.
So I want to know, as a photographer, videographer, why you wouldn't be the one planning a shoot.
You don't ask the pilot of a plane to fold the napkins of the dinner tray. You don't ask the pilot to fold the napkins for the dinner service.
You don't ask the pilot to push the cart through the aisle.
You don't ask the pilot to fold the napkins for the dinner service. You don't ask the pilot chicken or kosher.
You don't.
Pan Am.
Have you ever been on an airplane?
Have I been on an airplane? Yes, I have. Not since 1982.
You don't ask the pilot to pour the coffee. He's busy flying the plane.
You don't ask the coffee to. You don't ask the pilot to shine your shoes.
I feel like I'm having a stroke.
You don't ask the pilot to make those announcements. This is vendor Besties. We are going to be landing. Cruising our altitude 4,000
Come see us next week for episode 5, where we talk about more good stuff.
Just do.
More good stuff.
Okay, cut, reset.
I've been trying to get ahead, but I keep falling short. Sometimes it's tough getting out of bed when I'm feeling out of sorts. Call it what you will. It's just the art of standing still. I'm just trying to get it right. Call up my besties for a ride. You know the best is yet to come.